We heard from Donna Brazile that what many people had suspected for a long time has turned out to be true. The DNC secretly chose their nominee over a year before the primary elections even occurred. This shines a light on how deeply broken our campaign finance laws are.
That was a Democrat, folks. Democrat Tulsi Gabbard speaking out after former DNC chair Donna Brazile dropped a big bombshell this week, calling into question the influence of Clinton cash on the DNC. Now, President Trump calling this the real story on collusion, or at least one of them. Is he right? Here with us is former Hillary Clinton Communications Director Adrian Elrod and the Washington Examiner's Emily Jashinsky. So, Emily, now it's more than just Donna Brazile. We have Tulsi Gabbard. We have Liz Warren, who also said that the system was rigged. What's going on here? This is an upheaval of major proportions for Democrats.
Right. Well, I think it's really important that we've had Donna Brazile, all of those leaders. I think it's really important that they've made their voices clear that they think that this was bias on behalf of the DNC. The DNC's line right now is this is standard operating procedure. It only applied to the general election. It was open to other candidates. But there's evidence that the document did have clauses that applied to the primary and that Bernie Sanders, the agreement he signed, was different than the one that Hillary Clinton signed. That all aside, we already knew there was massive bias towards Hillary Clinton at the DNC during the primary election. That is what led to Debbie Wasserman Schultz's resignation. Donna Brazile herself, while she was vice chair, was feeding questions that she had at CNN back to the Clinton campaign.
Right.
So we know that there was this bias against Bernie Sanders, and frankly, that's why the populist candidates, the Bernie Sanders and the Donald Trumps, did so well, is because people around the country are so sick of seeing what elites are making their decisions for them
on
in Washington,
either side, on either party. You're absolutely right. By the way, there was nothing in the excerpt that we saw this week about that CNN incident with Donna Brazile. There may be in the book itself. We don't know. But Adrian, it's not just Hillary that was the target of some of her negativity this week. It was also President Obama. She said that he left the DNC in terrible shape going into the election, that it was in debt, partly because he hadn't done his due of fundraising. It leads you to wonder who the standard, if the standard bearer for the Democrats is not Hillary Clinton, if the standard bearer is not President Obama, who is it right now?
Look, Secretary Clinton and President Clinton have been raising money for the Democratic Party for 30, 40 years. When she decided to run for president,
but it was in debt going into the election. That's Donna Brazile's point.
You're exactly right. And so when she decided to run for president, she knew one of the first orders of business was rebuilding the Democratic Party, raising money for it so that she could get the party out of debt. She and Bernie Sanders were both presented with the same joint fundraising agreement, which, by the way, is very standard in presidential campaigns on both the Democratic and the Republican side. She chose to enter into it. He did not. That's fine, but she was able to harness her donor network to rebuild the party because
Adrian,
they were broke.
You know, we can argue these
money.
points, and that's fine. But my real question is, it's clear right now with Donna Brazile making very negative comments about Hillary Clinton, with Liz Warren doing the same, and now Tulsi Gabbard and other Democrats doing the same. She's no longer the standard bearer.
Well, I want to clarify something. These people are not making negative comments about Hillary Clinton. They're talking about the process. And Chairman Perez did come out yesterday and say,
Adrian, we don't have much time. Could you
changes.
just answer the question? Who do you think is the standard bearer? And it could be more than one person right now for the Democratic Party. If you think it's Hillary, that's fine. But who do you think it is?
No, I think we have a lot of leaders in our party. I think we need to focus on the election on Tuesday, and we need to focus on the midterms, and that's where our focus
Emily,
is.
that's the question that I asked, which I couldn't get a straight answer from Adrian on, is the real question right now. And frankly, I know that Republicans are chuckling at all this because it's nice for one party when another party has trouble. But who are they going to be against? Are they going to be against a left-winger like Bernie Sanders, or are they going to be against somebody who's more moderate? It affects the way they campaign as well, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a book could be written about the disaster that the DNC is right now and how there's competition still between the people who supported Bernie Sanders and the Hillary Clinton people, the people who want to take the party further left and the people who want to bring it to the center. There's so much to talk about there. But frankly, you know, I'm a conservative. And like you said, I don't want to chuckle at this. I don't want to laugh at this because there's a lot of people in this country who don't agree with me. That's fine. And their voices were minimized over the last primary by what was going on at the DNC. That's not okay. The DNC needs to obviously figure out how it's going to do a better job representing the voices of the wide spectrum of Democrats in this country because they're not being served by their party right now, and it's sad.
Adrian, just one final word, and please answer the question specifically. Are Democrats now going to get rid of the whole superdelegate system because that was the focus of a lot of the ire of Democrats?
Look, that's something that Chairman Perez will be focusing on moving forward.
What do you think?
Again,
are they going to be getting rid of the superdelegates?
I have no idea. You have to ask Chairman Perez and the party officers on this. But I want to make one final point,
Very quickly, Adrian, because you're not answering my questions.
I have not had enough time, so thank you.
You've had plenty of time.
If the system was rigged in the Democratic primary, Secretary Clinton would have won more caucuses. Bernie Sanders carried the caucuses.
Okay.
That's where the Democratic Party had more play.
All right. Everybody had enough time. Thank you very much, ladies.